Welcome to Life, Lessons, and Laughter with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
Hello, welcome to the show. We've got a special two-part episode, and I have my first guest.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
I'm excited.
Gladys Ellen is with us for the next two podcast episodes, and I'm going to let her tell you all what she does.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi,
Thanks
Gladys.
for having me. I'm excited to be your first guest, and as you know, we both always have a lot to talk about, so I'm sure this will be interesting and fun.
Yes.
So those who don't know me, I'm a holistic health practitioner and spiritual advisor. And what I do is I help people through trying and troubling times, help them move through obstacles in their life in a healthy and positive way. I'm also a spiritual medium and angel intuitive, and I help give guidance to people who have lost loved ones, want to connect with their guardian angels and guides for their best and highest good. I have an office in Warwick on Warwick Avenue. It's called Heavenly Hugs, and I've been in business for about 8 years now.
That's awesome. And I've known you for quite a while, and I've experienced a lot of things that you do, and I have you at my center too, because it's experiencing it. I know how wonderful it is and how transformative it is, and you've helped me in my career too, opening me up to some things that I do. So it's been awesome knowing you.
Good. Thank
and
you.
having you a part of my journey. And you even helped decorate my place.
I did.
If there was a lull in the conversation, that's what I was going to bring up, because I couldn't remember, but that was you that helped decorate the place.
Yep, that
you talked
Buddha
about
right
that
there.
for like weeks.
Yeah,
That
I
Buddha
needed
right
a
there,
woman's
see
touch.
Yep, we hung pictures, hung curtains, decided where things were going to be. So, yes, it's a beautiful space.
The big
Buddha.
7-piece Buddha is his favorite part, I think.
That took a long time.
To center.
It did. We used our pencil and rulers and aligning. Yes.
And stood back and argued about it. It was beautiful.
Yes. And I'm hoping to do more gallery events where people can come and come for group readings. So that's my intention for 2016, is to be able to be out there more, to be able to offer more of that, because it is a different experience for people, and they can come if they've lost a loved one, but they can also come if they're struggling in their life and really need some guidance with what the next step is. So I find that, they're educated, they learn, and then they also receive messages for themselves. So my intention is to do more of that in 2016.
Yeah, and you've done that twice here, right? And you're coming December 14th.
Yep, Monday.
Yeah, to do that again. And that's always wonderful, because like at the end is my favorite part. I mean, I enjoy the time that we're doing it, but afterwards everybody is their energy is so up. Everybody's wandering around talking to each other, and they're like, "Oh my God, that was amazing." And it's really cool.
It is.
Which I get a kick out of, because
and they're filled with energy, right? They're filled up. They're feeling good again. They remember what it's like to be uplifted and to feel like there's hope and also action. They're excited to go out and take the steps that they were given. And I think that's the best part of my job, is to see the transformation in people.
Yeah, that light come on in their eyes. I always talk about that in my work. I don't always see like a deadness in somebody's eyes when I see them, but boy, I see it turn on when it does.
Yes.
When that hope goes into their eyes and they leave. So that's one of my favorite parts.
It's a beautiful gift.
Could you take me as someone that is more on the outside of this? Could you take me through a reading? What does that entail? What happens?
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe everybody has an energy field. And, I tell my clients whatever they have going on in their world, they bring that with them today. Energy is something that we're all aware of. We're all aware of when somebody walks in the room and they're aggravated or upset. They don't have to say anything. If somebody comes in and they're super positive and uplifted. So we all have the ability to read energy every single day if we're tuned in. Some people are more tuned in than others. So I've learned to master the art of reading that energy. And so what it does is it helps people. And then what I do is I take that energy and I connect it with an archangel, an ascended master, or maybe a loved one that's passed, to bring them messages that are going to comfort them, support them, teach them, and inspire them, kind of uplift them. So I find it's a beautiful thing. So when I first had my reading, because I never knew I could do this. I didn't grow up, with a family of mediums. I was just in a really bad place in my life, and I got a gift certificate to go for a reading. And when I left there, the biggest thing I realized is that I wasn't alone, that there are these guardian angels, guides, beings of light, whatever you want to call them, there that hear my pain, hear my sadness, and are offering information that can help me, the action. When you're in that place of depression and desperation, you can't see what the next step is. You can't get yourself out of that. So by going to that session and realizing that I'm not alone and that I can call on these guides, my thought was, what do I have to lose? I'll try it. And that's when it opened up, and that's when it kind of exploded. And so I was a real estate paralegal before I did this. So working in a law firm, doing like 90 closings a month, it was insane, right? And so finally I'm now looking into angels and law of attraction and the laws of the universe and energy. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's something to this. And it kind of led me. I ended up, getting let go from that paralegal job as I was begging God to be let go, right? And then 2 weeks after I got let go, I opened up my business in 2007. And I've been on this mission to just really help people connect with themselves, to know themselves better, that they know that they can get through this, because life is really fun and wonderful. And you're talking to somebody who gave up on life. I had a suicide attempt when I was 19. So I was done with life, and now look at me. Now I can't live enough. I'm firewalking and jumping out of planes and jumping off bridges, like all this crazy stuff. But I feel like it's allowing me to feel alive, to push through the fears that limited me for so long. So I take those experiences and I help people on top of my ability to intuitively connect with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that was an awesome description.
Good.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. And that, I think that leads us right into the topic. We've discussed this before, but I really like how the clarity in which you have this mindset and you apply it to everybody's life. So can you tell us a little bit about our subject today?
Yes. Yep. Well, we're going to dive more into the idea of soul mission and spiritual journey. Mm-hmm. I believe from what I've seen that we have two paths in life. We have our soul mission, which is what we do for others, whatever we do for others. It's our jobs. It's letting people go at a stop sign. It's letting people in at an intersection. It's helping people in a grocery store. It's being there for friends, cooking meals when they need them. It's like whatever we're doing for others. The spiritual journey is what we do for ourselves. And I think that piece has been ignored for a very long time, especially with caregivers, healers, earth angels, light workers. We're here to serve. I mean, the whole planet is here to serve. Every job serves in some way. I mean, this is terrible, but even drug dealers serve a purpose. They're serving, they're addicted. They're people who are addicted, right? I mean, good, bad, or indifferent, everybody serves on some way. Obviously, the doctors, the lawyers, hairstylists, they're helping people. So we're naturally here to serve. But what happened is, because of old beliefs, conditioning, society, we've been all about taking care of everybody else. And we believe that, there was this belief that it's selfish to put yourself first. It's selfish to take care of yourself. And that's the spiritual journey aspect of it. And I started to get more clarity on it in 2013. So leading up to that, 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, there were these awakenings. People were losing their jobs. They were losing houses. They were losing their cars. I mean, I had clients who were millionaires, and then, they were coming in and they've lost everything, and now they've had to start from scratch, And what I found that they realized, what was important, it was bringing them back to family. It was bringing them back to friends and being grateful for being alive, and getting through this. So 2013 was the year where karma came full circle. It was like we were releasing these old beliefs, old ways of doing things, old relationships, jobs, things that weren't making us not happy anymore. And we were starting to be unplugged from this codependency, whether we were codependent on big houses, jobs, family, friends, codependent on, substances. People started to have this awakening and started to say, hey, wait a minute. I can't take care of you because I need to take care of myself. I'm a mess. And I found that was a common thing with caregivers too, is that we were all about everybody else to the point where we were in such lack, in such debt. Our health was like a mess. We weren't happy in our jobs, and we were killing ourselves to serve others. So what we started to do is realize that, hey, you know what? I need to take a step back and I need to take care of this, because law of attraction now put it in our face. The debt was so bad, the health was so bad that we had no choice but to stop and now look at that spiritual journey, right? And so 2013, we started to have these awakenings. So 2014 was the year of self-discovery. We were challenged and tested in ways that forced us to learn more about ourselves, what we could get through, what we could overcome, who was our support system, who wasn't there for us. 2015 has been the year of action. So coming out of that year into this year, it's like, all right, now that I know all this stuff, what can I do about it? And a lot of people have been taking baby steps this year,
Yes.
making changes, making, minor adjustments, make huge changes in the long run. So we've kind of been taking these actions and pushing, kind of pushing the envelope. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's
Because you're laughing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what 2015 has felt like.
Okay. So
what is 2016
I
gonna be?
know. That's coming.
just-
That's coming. Yes.
Can you just tell me now?
Yes, that's coming. That's actually a big part of what I'm doing soon. And it's interesting. I appreciate that you get that, because as you said, you're kind of like outside of this field, let's say. So for somebody who's more mainstream, the message still rings true to you. So this is where I see that it's not just the healers and the people who are intuitives and the caregivers. It's everybody on a collection, and we're moving it, whether it's small or big, we're starting to make these changes, and it doesn't matter where we are in our lives. It's the quality of life that we're going to live. I want to be more joyful. I want to be more happy. This person weighs me down. This is your spiritual journey stuff. This is now you looking back at yourself and saying, wait a minute, I'm not happy, and what can I do about it? What's going to fulfill me more? And going one step further is these obstacles that we've gone through have been an opportunity for us to grow, know ourselves better. That's one thing, I wanted to bring up was the idea of self-care and self-love. That spiritual journey stuff, it is being able to pay your bills. It's being able to take care of your body. It's being able to do your laundry. It's being able to sleep when your body needs sleep. This is all spiritual journey stuff that so many of us ignore because of working and kids and,
And that's what's
life
so
challenges.
important too, is that's how it applies to everybody. I oftentimes I'll say, like when I first started this podcast, I didn't bring the word spirituality into it too much because I was trying to kind of just meet people where they were, and then spirituality is becoming more of it. But this is, everything that you just talked about are the things that people are going through. Mm-hmm. Everybody, and it doesn't matter if they consider themselves spiritual or if they don't. Yeah. It's everybody is going through this type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I like about this, because to me, it's truth. And you can label it as spirituality. You can label it as
awakening,
living. Living. Yeah, you can just be like, oh, this is life. Life has gotten busier, and you can blame it on technology. You can say whatever you want. The fact is it's happening, mm-hmm. and we're all experiencing it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like about it. Mm-hmm. It does apply to everyone, mm-hmm. whether no matter what your mindset is.
Well, we're even seeing it on a global level. Look at what's going on in the news and the media. Difficult people in our lives are it's an opportunity for us to know more about ourselves. You know, I say thank the difficult people for showing you how far you've come, what it is that you do want or don't want, you know, and sometimes difficult people push you to be better. You know, look at,
yes,
you know,
they do.
They don't have a choice, right? You know, so instead of saying you did this to me and you did that to me, take a step back and saying, you know, thank you for coming into this life being that difficult person so that I could break free from this, so that I could learn from this, so that I could grow from that.
And it's hard to do that.
Yes,
usually it takes a couple stages.
It does. It's easier said than done.
Yeah,
certainly.
there's a little gray in between the victim and the thank you. You know, it takes a little while.
Healing process.
Right. It takes a little while to work through that, to go from the I can't believe you did this to me to the thank you for helping me grow. That's a big leap. But it's
something
true.
to work towards.
Oh, absolutely.
It's something to know when you get to that place where you can forgive that person in a place where you're saying, I've learned from this and I'm going to take this and I'm going to make something better with it, you know, and grow with it. Because, you know, the things that have happened to me, I can guarantee you it'll never happen again, you know, because I've learned from it, right? So being able to look back and saying, thank you for being that way, so that it would make me realize and learn more about myself and love myself more and believe I'm worthy and deserving, or, you know, be able to push myself farther, you know, than I thought I could. So there are two kind of people in life. There are people who will empower us, and there are people who will teach us about our power by taking our power. And so those people, like I said, we want to like punish them, or we want to be angry at them, or we want to blame them, right? And so what they're doing is they've come in to be able to help us. So they serve a purpose. They're not bad people, but their mission is really to kind of push us out of our comfort zones, to teach us, because we wouldn't be able to grow and learn and really live our life purpose by serving humanity if, you know, we were stuck in this place for so long. So sometimes it's a matter of seeing, okay, these people in my life are pushing me and they're teaching me about my power. And then these people are the ones who are empowering me. These people are the ones that I can really lean on, you know? And so, again, we have to have the experience to be able to understand that. So we can't beat ourselves up for allowing it to happen. But what we can do is we can say, thank you, God, for waking me up and seeing what these people have been doing to me, whether they be bosses, best friends, your mom or dad, or even your child. You know, they're the ones that are closest to us that are teaching us the hardest lessons right now. And this is all part of that spiritual journey stuff, getting to know what's acceptable now and what's not.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that the biggest lessons, it's once, you know, the way I usually say it is, life is happening for us, not to us. You know, so when we can get out of that victim mode of, you know, why is this happening to me? Why are they doing that to me? You know, and then look at it from the perspective that maybe it's happening for me, and what can I get out of this? How can this direct me to, you know, being a better person? And what can I grow from, you know, where can I grow from this? What is my growing edge? And, you know, that's when the gratitude can start creeping
Flourish.
in, you know?
You know, and we have to kind of see, you know, God, for me, God is the highest vibration of unconditional love. It's this massive energy that pushes us to the positive, the uplifting, to grow. And so, you know, we have to sometimes we want to say, oh, it's God punishing me. Oh, it's, you know, he doesn't want the best for me. And so that energy of love, of course, would want the best for us. But again, we have to go through these challenges in order to see how far we've come to grow. You know, I found that, you know, we're usually in a certain stage in our life with these process with lessons. I call it the birthing process. So even though we're born, doesn't mean we're not born over and over and over again. So think about the birthing process. You know, when you're in the womb, you're comfy, cozy, all your needs are met, you're happy, and you're growing within that, right? You know, You're being carried, you're being taken care of. It's a comfortable space. Well, after a while, you start to outgrow that space. You've taken all you can from that space that you're in. So what happens is Mother Nature or the universe then hits that go button, right? And which starts the water breaks, right? And now you're going through this birthing process, which is scary. It's traumatic for the parent, the mother, the father. It's traumatic for the child going through that process. And that's where a lot of times we find ourselves in that scary place that I don't know what's going to happen on the other side. This is painful and I don't want to leave this environment, but knowing you've outgrown it and it's time for you to shift, right? And so a lot of people find that's where they kind of stop. There's that fear. And I feel like that's where we've got to lean on God, source, creator, universe, more so than ever, to saying, all right, I know I'm moving through this process, but help me at least see the light. Help me at least know that there's love and comfort and support on the other side. Help me to keep going so that I'm not so afraid that I stop, And then, when you're out on the other side, there's always some nurturer on the other side to get you, whether the doctor, a mom, an adoptive mom, a grandmother, a sibling, a family member. There's always somebody on the other side. So we have to remember that we're going to get through it and we're going to have the support on the other side. And then when you're quote unquote born, now you have to get used to a new environment. Okay, well, who am I now outside of that place? Where am I growing? And we have to kind of go through that learning process again. But again, we're wiser, we're more knowledgeable. And then as you're growing, you end up back in that womb state again. Like, all right, I got this and I feel good. And so people are going to be challenged with health, with finances, with their jobs, with their family members, with their friends. We keep moving through these cycles and it just makes us bigger, better, stronger, faster in a spiritual way, more awake, more aware. Problem is more people are more open to change now. There's so much out there that challenges people. I mean, look at Tony Robbins and the fire walking, and look at Oprah and what she's opened up spiritually for people. She's being able to reach the mainstream community and really kind of open them up to another way, right? So this isn't something that's like airy-fairy. It's something that we can all relate to, that we've all been going through. So, I ask my clients, like, where are you in that process? Are you in the womb? Are you coming out of the birthing canal? Or have you just gotten on the other side and you're like, all right, now I got to get my bearings, lean on my support system and trust that they're going to be able to help me, that they're going to be able to teach me what they know so that I can grow.
Yeah, and I think, when you look at it like that, and a baby can come out the other side and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me. I'm such a victim. That was horrible.
But they don't know any better.
No,
right?
They come out the other side.
Trust.
And the parents, having been there when my son was born, it's, when that child is there, it goes instantly from fear, like, oh my God, this is intense, to, oh my God, that was the most beautiful experience I ever had, which is exactly, what we're talking about. It's if we stay stuck in the fear and that's all we pay attention to, that's where we get stuck. Oh my, this process is so difficult. It hurts. It's painful. It's, oh no. But when we're on the other side of it, we can instantly, everything that's difficult, we would deem as difficult, or maybe even negative in our lives. Whatever we deem as that, when we accept it, grow from it, it instantly turns into one of the most beautiful things. And
I do want to make clear too that this is a process. When we're going through change, it's a grieving process. So it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be not happy where you are in that moment. I think people feel sometimes like being spiritual means you always have to be happy, that you always have to get it. Well, I have to say, some of the experience I went through, I was pissed off. I said it was not fair. It stunk, right? And so I see now, looking back, how beautiful it was. But what I did was I gave myself an opportunity to sit with it. it, to sit with the anger, to sit with the fear, and saying, all right, with the fear, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'm still going to have a roof over my head. I'm still going to have people who are going to love me, and being able to talk yourself through it. It's the people who stuff and ignore and think, oh, I should be this way or I should be that way, that it gets more challenging. And we all know law of attraction, it's going to come back, right? So being able to lean on your support system. So, when you come out that parent on the other side, that's God, right? That's God saying, you did it. I'm so proud of you, and I'm going to be here for you. And I love you more. And I use that word God and like source, creator, universe, unconditional love vibration, whatever that energy is. We're all becoming awakening to there is something more. There is something that's leading us. There is something that's giving us this joy and happiness, because again, we're seeing all the sadness in the world, you know what I mean? And the changes and the destruction and the demise of that energy, that lower vibration, right? And what it's doing is it's bringing people together stronger. I
think we're seeing that a little more.
I mean, look at America and Paris right now, reaching out. We're talking about two different worlds now coming together in that unity, So unfortunately, cataclysmic events have to happen in order to restore balance. So we're woken up, that God, life is so precious and you just never know, So it's not like God goes in, I don't believe God kills people in drunk driving accidents or events like that. I think people do, but there's always light that comes from it. There's always a gift that we learn. And of course, it's terrible to lose somebody. There's a pain that just doesn't go away when you lose somebody like that. But what it does is it helps you appreciate life a little bit more, to be a little bit more caring, saying, okay, there's nothing I can do about this, but how can I change things to make the world a better place just with myself? That's spiritual journey stuff. That's going deep within and saying, okay, I can overcome this. And now I can meld soul mission and spiritual journey together. I can take my lessons and what I've learned and be able to help people with it. So be giving yourself the gift to be able to move through these obstacles and these challenges, to be able to give back to others in the future is really the true gift. So many people struggle with life purpose and what am I here for? You're here to serve. So just be who you are, learn as much as you can, and then share that with people. And then your purpose will serve you.
Yeah, and I think they're putting more attention on that finally now too, with the traumatic events. I'm seeing, obviously you get the barrage of what happened in every media channel there is, but you're also getting more of a barrage now of how people are reaching out, and it's capturing people's interest more. Things of one person helping another in these difficult situations are going viral more. And it's, I saw some of it with the Sandy Hook murders. Some of the parents, the way they've dealt with that is absolutely amazing. And that, when they opened up to it and worked through it, they were able to, one, get through such a difficult experience in a healthier way for themselves, but also help the other parents and the world in general. Anybody that listened to their story was like, oh my God, you went through this and this is what you got out of it. And what a tribute to your child's life. And if you can do that, I can do it in my life with my smaller difficulties, and so the amount of
them
help
to appreciate.
It expands and expands and expands. And, I think before all this shifting started taking place, it was almost like people would sweep that under the rug and think that, oh, well, yeah, they must be, weird or something, But now it's becoming more and more, and people are being held in high regard that are able to come to this level of acceptance and growth through these difficult times and really be role models for us all. And one of my regular prayers is to teach me my lessons easy. I don't want to. I went through enough big stuff. I don't want.
I'll learn them through everybody else. I'll learn what they've gone through. I'll learn from that.
So I want to be very, very aware, and I want to learn from other people's experiences. I want to have my eyes wide open in my own life, so I can learn these lessons easy instead of having traumatic events come into my experience.
And that's how you've grown. When you're aware of it, you can shift it and change it in the moment, when you're living consciously and being present, like what's happening around me? How am I feeling today? That's spiritual journey stuff. Oh, I'm not really feeling that great. Well, you know what? Maybe I need some more rest. What does my body need to eat? And we break out of the conditioning, the rote, like wake up, have this for breakfast, you take the same drive to work, you go to work, you go home. There's nothing wrong with that. But what happens is you start to miss these important signs that the universe is giving you. We're kind of like, think about your car. Your car gives you warning signs when you need an oil change or when you have a flat tire or your engine light goes on and you have problems. Your car is giving you warnings. What happens when you ignore those warnings, right?
Right.
You end up stuck on the side of the road. So that's what being conscious and present really means, being aware of what's happening around you. Hey, you know what? I keep seeing this over and over again, or this keeps popping up in my life. Maybe I should pay attention to that. That's conscious living, right? And the universe is giving you signs saying, hey, this is to come. Sometimes I do things and afterwards I'm like, man, thank God I did that. Thank you, God, for, giving me that, insight, because that just made it so much better, or it lessened the impact and speeded up the recovery process because I had this feeling something was going to happen, or through dreams or through people telling you. I usually say to the universe, tell me twice. If it's something I'm supposed to do, say, be, or have, tell me twice. So I'll see the same numbers twice. Or, a couple years ago, a gentleman handed me this book to read. It was called Proof of Heaven. And I was thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to find time to read this book, right? And then 2 days later, and I was like, oh, I'll read it when I'm on the plane on my trip, which was like a few weeks from then. A nurse comes into my office a couple days later, and she says, oh, hey, Gladys, have you read Proof of Heaven? And I was like, there's my sign.
Is that the book about the neuro?
Yes.
Scientist,
and he got really sick.
Surgeon? Yeah.
And he got really sick, and it was all about like the divine and his experience on the other side.
He came and did a book signing and stuff in Westerly, last year or two.
He did. You're right.
So if somebody's stuck on the side of the road, spiritually, wants help, looking for help, where can they contact you? How can they get a hold of you?
They can contact me. I have a beautiful website at Gladys Ellen, ELLEN.com. And my office is at 917 Warwick Avenue in Gold Plaza. And they can go online and book appointments online. They can find out my services. I do a lot of energy work and spiritual guidance. I teach a lot of classes, energy training. So everything is on my website.
Awesome. Glenn?
Yes.
What if somebody wants to get a hold of you?
Well, you can listen to one of my other podcasts where I left my... No, just go to my website as well, life-enhancement-services.com. And so I guess we're going to wrap up for now, but we are going to come back with the second half of this topic because, we're just scratching the surface now.
That went fast.
Yeah, it did go fast. So we kind of set you up. We're gonna slam you home on the next one.
And we are going to talk about 2016, so don't think I forgot.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
This podcast is presented by New Shore Productions. Executive producers Glenn Ambrose, Benjamin Barber, and David DeAngelis.